Jules here, welcome to my channel. So today is another Saturday, so we're just making ephemera, and what we've got here is a little flippy journal. So the front cover we've got a flip, and you open it up and we've got a flip, and you turn it round. There's nothing on that one, and you've got a flip there, nothing on that one, and then we're back to the front. Or you can have it that way, where you've got a flip down and a flip down and a flip down. It's entirely up to you, but I like it with the flip up with. Actually, what we're going to do is we're going to start the front plain and have a flip up, a plain, a flip up, a plain, a flip up and a plain, back to the front. So, and these are 3 7/8 by 4.5, so they're not totally square. If you want them totally square, you can cut your paper down to do that. So this is the 3 7/8, and it's 1/8, not 4.5. It's 4 1/8 down to 7 4/8. So what I've got is I've got some just scraps of digitals that I've cut up. Now, if you're on my Facebook group, you will get this as a freebie. Trying to and that goes there, and that goes there, and there is some more bits and pieces. That one, and there is another bit there, and you'll also get it in that colour, and I think it's in blue. So there are 3 sheets available on my Facebook group. I've not got them on Ko-fi because they're just for my Facebook group. So this is what I'm using, and I've just basically cut them down a little bit. So I think we might have that one on there. So if you wanted, you can open them out, and what I'll do is I'll ink round all these edges just to make it easier for you guys so you can see. I'm just using Scotch timber, and so I said we're having a plain one at the start with that one on. So we'll open it up. It's easier there. You can see there I've not got a, and if you follow me, you'll know that I like a border round, and I am inking round. And you can use glue sticks to stick this on. It's entirely up to you. Now, I've not made one of these. Normally when I do a prep, I make one to show you, but this is kind of winging it. And there's our first one, and then we want this one. And I think we'll go with this again. I think what I'll do is I'll just go away and I'll ink round all my pages, and then I'll come back. Inked round them, and I've made sure all these are inked. So we were going to do this one. Yep. And we'll do some just put a little bit of paper down. Get a little bit more wiggle room with glue stick, and that's fine. So that's our first. Now we want this one, and I was thinking of putting the lighter colour in there. I'm chopping and changing my glue, and put that there, and that one there. We'll do just the middle bit with the glue stick, and then we'll go around the edges with the glitter glue. Again, I'm just lining it up the sides. So we've got that, and this is 160 GSM card. One there. Now I don't have a full one, but as we're going to put a side tuck, it doesn't really matter because you're not going to see it. So it's another way of conserving your paper. And that one we will do. So we'll leave that, and then we should have, and that should be all of them. We'll see. This one I did intend putting all these bits and pieces on before I did the video, but because what we'll do is we'll actually make one of these from scratch after this, but I'm using a digital, so it's already prettied up. But we can put the pockets and everything in. I think that might be right. So if you open it up, yep, Okay, so what I've got is I've got some strips here, and these are just cut-offs that I've been using. They're 2 2/10, so I think I want them maybe it's a little bit shorter than that, a little bit narrower. So I've got 2 strips here. I'm just going to cut them down to 2. Okay, yeah, because it's 3 7/8, it looks a little bit better. So what I'm doing is I'm just marking it and see if I can give a straight line cut. Nearly. So we want that one on there. We want a pocket under there, but this isn't going to be as wide because obviously you don't want it to interfere with so we've got that one there. Then turn that over. And we've got a plain one there. No, we haven't. We've got a... So that'll do a pocket underneath because it's not big enough to do a pocket that way. So we'll just trim a little bit off there. Perfect. So I've got the underneath. Turn it over. And that should just leave enough. Should be enough. Okay, so we'll start at the beginning. So we've got this one. Now what I was thinking of doing, I want a notch in the bottom one. So I'm just guessing the middle. And I'm not going to put any papers on these, but I am going to ink around them, and I think I'm going to ink them. But what I was thinking of doing was doing some, you know, the punches that you, the edge punches, don't only punch paper. That's fine, punches that. So what we're going to use is we're going to use this one. Now these are old, I got them, I've had them years. I got them, I think, from either QVC or Create and Craft, one of the TV shopping channels. We've got a great big set of them. And there we are. And I'm going to ink I think that looks quite nice there. So what I want to do is I want to do some stamping on these. Got some flower stamps somewhere. Again, these came from, I know there's quite a few of you don't like shopping on Temu or whatever, but I pay with PayPal. Doesn't have my bank account. There's lots of nasty rumours going around that they're doing all sorts. They actually don't. I've bought from AliExpress and these shops for a long time. I don't buy all my stuff, but I buy quite a lot of it. And I think we might have that one. It looks like a bit of, like a phlox. So I'll take that out. And we'll ink round this one. And it's a little too big for the stamp block, so I've got it on an angle. And you sometimes find where the stamp doesn't stick to the block, that's the bit that doesn't stamp, but no, that looks quite nice. And I could have done tickets and things like that, or text, but I decided that flowers would be nice on this one, and then glue and if you've got any like little wobbly bits like that at the very end, you're going to glue them down anyway so that they won't catch. And there we are. And then this one, I'm looking for my other stamp block because I am going to do some smaller ones on this one. So we've got some like fern leaves, and put that one on there. And I'm just doing a, you can use your tapestry stamps on this. In fact, I might get my, here we are. I know they're not inked, they're not stamped perfectly, but I'm not really bothered. And I'm just doing the leaf the other way around. Okay. And again, glue the three sides. And don't push it too near the crease. And there we are. So we've got that one. We haven't got anything on there, but we've got something on there and there. Nothing on there. That's the underneath pocket. This is the outside pocket. So we'll try this one. This is a Martha Stewart punch. And these are old as well. And what you do with these is you line the punch up. Just, and again, you can see there's some bits, but they're going to get glued, so that's fine. And the one underneath is that one, and again just guess in the middle. So you can use all your sort of your end cuts. You can even use your end cuts on there, because as you saw with that other one, that's going to get a pocket over it, so nobody's going to know. And we'll take that one off, and I think we'll have these look like bluebells. And that'll be a bit too big, but that's fine. I'm just going to shove this up here. Put this on here so I don't stump my desk. And there we are. And we'll take these ones off, and I think we'll have we've got a daisy flower, and that looks like a daisy leaf, so on this one. Start in the middle. There. And there we are. That pocket is a little bit short, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just ink out that paper like that, and then we turn it again, and we've got this. And I've got a different punch. So if you wanted, you could have all the same, wouldn't matter. Yeah. Oh, that one's got little, some of them have little trays, some of them don't. I used to have like pieces like this with all my punches, side punches, so I could see what they looked like, and I stopped using them when I stopped card making, because that's when I got them, when I was card making and doing wedding stationery. But then I got them out because you can use them in your journaling, make some pretty pockets and page edges. And again, and when you're doing if you just bend it like that so that the V sticks up, and you're able to get in that corner. And we never stamped on that one, did we? Okay, so I think we'll do something different on this. So I'll put those stamps on there, and we'll look for what else. I've got some more flowers here. Right, so this is quite a big one. So what I want to do is I want to put that in there, lift that up, and I think we'll do the top half of that. I'm taking these off because I don't want them stamped. And I'm not using a stamp block, I'm just using it straight from the packaging. And you can use your lid. And there we are. Looks very interesting. And I think we'll use the bottom bit for this. Put it on there. Put the stamp block on. And And there you can see, yep, you can see where it would have gone over onto the page if I hadn't done that. Now this is just a little bit too long. That in there. So there, so we've got we've got 6 pockets basically. So we've got side tucks. I'm just looking to see what I've got. So we could put that in there. I do have some ephemera somewhere, and I think it's in here. So, yep, I've got it. And again, this is another, if you're part of my Facebook group, you'll get these. So we'll put that in there. We want something under there, something under there, that one in there. So we've got that, we've got that, we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. Now to close that up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a grommet in there. Put it anywhere you want. I'm going to put it in here, and I'm using the big side, the larger hole. And because you're going to look at both sides, I'm putting a ring on it as well. So I want that on that side. And now we'll see if I can get that. Usually if I can't I've done it. I usually just dab a bit of glue, and that just gives it a better finish. So there, we've got that. But what's falling out? That. And then from there, we just use some string. And I'm going to tie a knot, but I'm going to leave a thread loose. And then tie it around there. And then we've got the two. not tightened it very much, but you can put lace, you can put all sorts on these. Again, it's 160 GSM. I'm not going to put the pockets on this, not on camera. It'll take too long. So again, it's an A4, so it's 11 5/8. Now, if you're using letter size, you just make it a little bit smaller. So I said 3 7/8, and rather than calculate 3 7/8 that way, all I do is I turn round and I go 3 7/8 that way. Now I know this is 8 1/4, so it's 4 1/8 and a half. And then what I usually do is I fold it up, and because it's accordion, because it's concertinaed, it's fine. And we'll just use this. And then we open that, and I've just done a coffee dyed paper in the middle. So what we'll do is I'll use the middle so you can see it better, and I'll just ink the creases. Because they're going to get inked anyway. So there, you can see. So what we want to do is we want to cut these two lines, and instead of cutting them straight up, I'm cutting them either side of the crease, because obviously your crease makes like a little bobble. So then cut up the side of this crease. If you use you want to use a scalpel, like a knife, go ahead, because what you want is you want a space. If you don't have a space, it can interfere when you're folding. So again, I'm just going up. And then all you would do is just And if you're using digitals or pretty papers, you don't have to cover them. You can still cover them with whatever you want. So then put that one down there, that one down there, that one down there, and that one down there. And there we have it. And then you've got your up, your plain, your up, your plain, your up, your plane, and it just goes on. It's like a never-ending journal. So that's basically it. So I hope you get something from that. Hope you have a go. It's easy. You can do it. Let me get some paper. If you're not very good at measuring, you can do it this way. So if you don't always get it as neat. This is a bit of heavier paper. So that's about right. Or you can measure it. That's not quite. That's about right. And as long as your two lines, your two edges are together, you're going to get a straight crease. And you can do it that way to stop it. And there you are. And then you would just fold that in the middle, that way. And then ink it. And if you wanted to do ink splats, you know, if you've got inks and you want to do your own design, you could use coffee dyed paper. You can coffee dye that, you can tea dye it, and put ink sprays, ink splats. You can even, you know, do it with acrylic paint, water it down and put it down and just dip it in. Looks just as good. Watercolour paints, kids, watercolour paints are really good. They're cheap and they're easy to use, and you get the colours. If you buy a kid's watercolour set, you can get like a bigger set. If you're just using it for, like, you know, what we use ink staining and mixed media and stuff like that, it's quite easy to do. So I'm waffling now. So as I said, hope I see you in the next video, and I will put photographs of this up. And there we are. Very pretty, very easy. You could even have them as little ephemera books, you know, when you're doing a journal. If you've got little bits of ephemera, put it in and use it throughout your journal. Then pop it in your journal, you know, with any spare ephemera, photographs. Ideal for putting photographs on. Brilliant. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.